All of my lore is from Fallout.fandom.wiki. The construction of Vault 87 began in May of 2066 and finished in December of 2071. Its primary computer system is a Cyberbrain version 2.3, and it had non-standard equipment such as a stasis chamber, a plasma containment field, 6 food processing stations, and a GEC. Around 2076, the original Vault experiment was scrapped, turned into a secondary research center to study FEV. Let's talk about how many S sounds are in everything I just said.
That's a lot. That's quite a lot of S.
Yeah. Like I just wanted to make sure everybody else heard it. All right. It was led by Dr. Wayne Merrick. They don't really talk much about Wayne Merrick, but in the cut content from the game, it says he's one of the brightest minds in the field of accelerated evolution. So there's a lot of cut content that actually... So they used batch 11-111 of FEV as a base. The team... So it was Dr. Wayne Merrick and his team that were experimenting with this strain of FEV. The team tried to create a virus batch that would result in reliable creation of human adaptation to post-nuclear environment. So it was more of like... spoilers for like season 1 or 2 of The Walking Dead. I think that they wanted to do it where like everybody had the virus.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You remember that? You remember The Walking Dead? Fuck, remember The Walking Dead was good?
Yeah, I remember when it was good.
Fuck.
I watched it for like a lot of seasons.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, so I think they wanted to make it where everybody, in case the bombs would go off, they would naturally kind of... So imagine a world where, like, super mutants, to an extent of not being super mutants, could have been, like, a viable thing.
Just kind of like, oh, the bombs went off and now everyone is green.
Maybe not green, but, like, they have tougher skin or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Like a natural immune response kind of thing.
This is called the Evolutionary Experiment Program, so EEP. There's about 90 initial victims of EEP. So there's FEV mutants, there's EEP mutants, which are pretty much the DC mutants, and the surrounding area. Boston has their own thing because that's CIT mutants, but I don't know what strain it's run on, offhand at least.
Mm-hmm.
There's a list of... I didn't write down the 90 plus names, but there is a detailed list of first and last names. It's not just this is Mark and that's Christine. It's like not Timmy Nusba, but like this is James. I almost said a kid I went to school with. Like this is James Franco or whatever. The Vault Dwellers had no clue that what was going on in the experimentation. But after they were infected, they started to undergo physical and mental changes. They became genderless. They became more muscular. Their skin toughened, and they had their mental ability had diminished. And they became overly aggressive. These are the East Coast or DC mutants.
That's kind of cool that, like, all of the DC mutants were based on, like, an entirely separate, like, experiment.
Yeah.
I'd never really known about that. I just knew that it was, like, oh, they came from Vault 87, but, like, I didn't know how, like, it wasn't, like, perfect FEV.
Well, there's different... and when I was reading this, it made me think of the T-Virus from Resident Evil, and how there's, like, 40 different versions of the T-Virus. There's the T-Virus and the G-Virus and the H-Virus, and now there's the mold. And I'm not a huge Resident Evil guy. I really only like one of them. But it was just kind of like, I saw the parallels. But also, this has been going on for a really long time. I have I believe it's like 200 years there's been mutants. So
wow.
I don't know how long it took for mutants to originally start up on the West Coast, but I know that Horrigan, because we did the episode on him when he was at Mariposa, he got hit with the radiation, and it started to just kind of like not flood, but like hit his body, and then he began to experiment. The Enclave started doing the experiments. So I don't know how long it actually takes for a mutant. Could you open up a new tab and Google that?
Sure. What exactly do you want me
Look
to
up,
get?
when do the first super mutants show up in Fallout, in the Fallout series? While you do that, I'm going to keep reading, so just cut me off when you find it, alright? 87 mutants capture humans and dunk them into vats of green nutrient solution, or green goo, that feeds them FEV and makes more mutants. This is
The first super mutants of this variety were 2078.
from where? From EEP or West Coast?
Um, the first EEP.
Well, I'll get to that later, but yeah, I don't know how long it took on the West Coast. Because yeah, but they're also, I'll get into it. They're pretty much kept inside the vault. I'll let you know. Hold on.
Yeah. Just let's keep going.
So the difference from the West Coast mutants are they're dumber, they're more hostile. EEP mutants are happier, and West Coast mutants are often more erratic with their mutations, like they have blisters and deformities. Fox, which we'll get there with one for him because he's the man. He's a thick ass boy. He's presumably a victim of this program. His FEV exposure made him lose all of his memory from his human life, but he says that 87 feels familiar to him. There's actually cut content that when we cover Fox, I'm going to go over, that it's 5 holotapes that are voiced. At least 4 of them are voiced.
Really?
Yeah, and it's a story of like how he was a security guard. And by the 5th one, it's him as a super mutant yelling, going like, "How come the machine doesn't work?" or some shit. Like, yeah, it shows like how he slowly gets affected to the. I don't know why they took it out.
Yeah, that's really, really cool.
Like they had at least 4 out of the 5 done. He retained little intelligence and a system of morals, and he gained a wealth of knowledge through the terminals in 87. Now going back to, there's only 4 people. There's only 4 notable people on the wiki that are in 87, and it's Centaur's super mutants Sid, who is a human that's gone crazy, which I'm going to put some voice clips here of Sid saying some shit, because it's really fucking funny. It's him yelling like, "It's under my skin!" And, "Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out of my head!" Like, yeah. So here it is. Make a face or a pose.
Get out of my head! Get the fuck out! Ah! All dead! They're all dead! No, it's under my skin! It's under my skin!
Yeah, wasn't that nuts?
It was something. Jeez Louise. He is a tortured fucking dude.
The overseer and the security knew exactly what was going on with the experiments. They just followed orders from Vault-Tec. Standard security measures were not enough, though. After a year, the vault was sealed. A year after the vault was sealed, some of the test subjects broke free and overwhelmed the staff. A nuke detonated itself on top of the entrance of 87, making it impossible to enter through the vault door. So, like, that little cove thing that you can, like, find, that's why it's incredibly irradiated when you get there, and you need to, like, you have to go through another way, which I'll go through the other ways to get in there, is because a bomb was dropped directly on top of it.
And, like, what a kick in the head, right?
Yeah. I mean, why...
Like, it hits directly on top of the door.
Yeah. Like, where else would it hit? Like, it couldn't have hit, like, 3 feet to the left. So more about EEP mutants. They are obsessed with the preservation of their species. All of them are sterile. They are the first and the last of their own breed, unless they can capture more people to turn into mutants. They capture humans all over DC and bring them back to 87 to be mutated, and they've been doing this for almost 200 years until the FEV started to run out, and they're looking for more of the green stuff all over DC. By 2277, there is complete despair in 87. Lack of maintenance led to an abundance of degradation, and the subsystems are completely falling apart. There's even some parts of the structure of the vault that have just caved in. because of how little maintenance has been done, because it only fucking worked for a year.
That's freaking crazy. That it's just like after 2,000 or 200 years, it's like, how do you fuck up its construction so bad that it starts to collapse in on itself?
Well, my guess would be that because a bomb hit it and they're underground, there might have been some sort of a earthquake. So maybe that had something to do with it. Also, these are 10-foot strong men
True.
that are just banging on things because they're upset because they're 10-foot strong men.
They're all rowdy boys.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it wouldn't surprise me if it's just like, you know, somebody got stream sniped playing Fortnite or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, they're just mad to be mad. Due to their low intelligence, some rooms have been repurposed. Like, the medical ward has been turned into a prison because they don't understand how to fucking heal themselves.
Right.
If you want to enter the vault, it's the highest level of radiation in the entire series. It's 3,500 rads a second, killing you in 0.29 seconds. Even with Radaway and Rad-X, if you can reach the door in a rad suit, you can't access the vault door through the access tunnel. I've seen videos on it, and I think I've done it once just for the shits and giggles. If you pump yourself with enough chems, and if you have a radiation suit and you have like a high med skill, you can get to the door. There's a scientist there who's dead, and there's a note on the door, but I don't know if it's accessible or not because there was nothing about it on the wiki that I saw. Because I don't think they ever thought anybody was going to go there.
Yeah, I mean, it's by design. If it can kill you in 0.29 seconds to get there, you're not going to get there. A regular person's not going to get there.
Yeah. So Little Lamplight has two routes to get you into 87. MacCready, my boy, he tells you about Murder Pass, or you can go to the broken terminal and try to fix it and get right into 87. You bypass all of Murder Pass. I think the kid's name is Jonas or James or something with a J that you have to speak to. Joseph, thank you. That you have to speak to so he can let you, he's the tech dude down there.
He's the nerd kid.
Yeah. So Murder Pass, MacCready can open the gates that houses several mutants with missile launchers and miniguns that you can use to get in. Once you're in, you're good to go. You're in there, you can get inside 87, you grab the Gek, you meet Fox, you can get out, you meet the Enclave, and then you're pretty much at the end of the game.
Yeah. And you can go directly there.
Oh, you can you?
For the most part, yeah.
Do you not
you can
have
go
to
directly to Little Lamplight?
Can you?
I'm pretty sure you can go directly to Little Lamplight.
You don't have to go to 112 first?
Maybe. That's where Dad is, right?
Yeah. You might be able to go right to 87. You might be right. I'm not sure.
I think you can go right to 87.
But, no. If you can, that makes sense, but then your dad would just die. Because I think you have to go to 112 to free him. Because then he goes back to the thing, and then he dies.
Oh, yeah. You go to 112, then you can go directly to 87, and then go to Project Purity.
Okay.
But, you can do that in, a matter of, 20 minutes.
Yeah. We should get I'll watch the Tomato Anus video and see how to do it.
The what?
Tomato Anus? You don't know about Tomato Anus?
I do not.
He's a Fallout speedrunner. But he'll do, wacky ass, Fallout 4 speedrun to see if I could sleep with how fast I could sleep with everybody.
That's kind of funny.
He did one that was, a speed run of Fallout 1 to Fallout 4. So it was 1, 2, 3,
how quickly
4.
he could do the entire chain.
Yeah, it might have been 1, 2, 3, New Vegas 4, but he did. I think it's 2 hours. He beat all of them. Maybe 3, maybe 4. I don't remember. You can beat Fallout 1 and 2 real quick if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't. So, here's some notes for you. Standing slightly behind the door where the Gek is, your Geiger counter will go silent. So, I've actually seen this as a speedrunning tactic because you have to wait for the whole Gek to, come on... Not undone, but, so it leaves its, chamber where it's held. If you stand like right in the doorway and then like take an eighth of a step back, there's just no rads.
Like they didn't coat the entire area in rads.
Yeah, like I don't know much about designing vaults, but what I remember seeing from Gek tutorials on YouTube, I'm guessing it's pretty much like the connecting room. They just didn't put it down or like forgot to put that one little spot. And yeah, you can go from getting like hundreds of rads a second to nothing. And if you play it, next time you play it and you get to 87, when you walk through, you'll notice your Geiger counter will like dip out for a second and come right back.
Because like while it's in a transition period,
like it'll keep going up as you get closer to the Gek, and you'll walk through the threshold of the door, and it'll like fade away and then come right back. Yeah. Inside, this one I just thought was neat, like a little bit of irony. Inside the vault, there are several locked doors with Rad-X, Radaway, and Rad suits. Also, that's probably just for like a balancing thing, so you don't get what's it called, like save locked.
Yeah,
or like
so you're not just destroyed there.
Yeah,
and like I know exactly what you mean.
Like I said before, you can find a complete list of 87 residents that were affected by EEP on the site. Let's see if there's anything else that's fun. It's possible to trigger the Gek by going into the chamber before Fox and selecting the right option. However, this activation will cause a fatal explosion from the Gek. I'm pretty sure you can get the Gek before even talking to Fox, and then you never have the opportunity to get him. He's locked in there forever.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
That's so
sure.
Sad.
Yeah.
Because Fox is the coolest.
He is the coolest.
It's also the only time you can get Fox's super sledge.
Yeah. On the way from Fox's isolation room, the Gek storage room, to the Gek storage room, there is a door that says requires key, but the game's designers did not intend for the player to be able to open it. If one returns to the vault after escaping the Enclave, it is left open, and this doesn't apply for the Game of the Year version. Walking through the door leads to an empty room containing a closed main vault door 87, complete with an 87 logo outside. The door can be used, and it will be opened and closed via a mechanical arm, just like the other vaults with working doors. However, there's nothing to see on the other side except for a small platform that opens to an empty space. Walking off the edge of the platform into the empty space will redeposit the player character in front of Fox's isolation room. The fact that said door gets open only after Colonel Autumn's squad ambushes the player implies the Enclave entered the vault through the main entrance. Holy shit.
Wow.
Huh.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I never even knew that existed.
Yeah, I never went back in.
Yeah, me neither. There's no reason to, really.
No. Retrieving the Gek is possible alone without the help of console commands, since it takes about 10 to 15 seconds to die from radiation poisoning. One should have enough rad prevention items for 8 minutes at the most, along with a high medicine skill for some rad friendly perks.
Dang.
This is one that I didn't quite understand, so I didn't write it down, but I'll read it for you right the fuck now. Due to the fact that companions may be lost when arrested by the Enclave, they will have to be rehired. If having 2 companions, aside from Dogmeat, only Dogmeat can be rehired and no other companion. So if you have Sharon with you, she's gone. He's gone. They're gone.
Really?
They're just gone. Yeah.
Huh.
The number of unidentified... So a big thing is that they weren't saying that the deaths in 87 were like, oh, this was a mutant. They mutated and their heart exploded because of this. It just said they died of natural causes. Except for a few people, it said they had cancer.
Real natural.
1. Yeah. So, well, it is natural. It's evolution. It's forced evolution. You know what I mean? Like, it's a shitty way to put it, but that's probably the idea behind it was, yeah, it's natural. We're evolving them. We're not evolving them naturally, but they're evolving, and that's natural.
I don't think so.
No, it's shitty, but like, it's also a fucking corrupt government. They're gonna find every way to flip it around. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just make sure there's nothing else. There's a lot of really good pictures that I'm gonna be putting up.
Yeah. Like the sign outside of 87.
The sign, the like weird fucked up mutant on the table, the Gek itself, the hallway.
Honestly, the design of this vault is really, really good. And from like a visual standpoint and like an actual like dungeon like level design standpoint, it's a really, really cool
And a lot of
location.
a lot of Fallout 3 is very basic because they were just kind of like working with what they had. But it's just fucking. I remember coming here the first time being like, whoa.
Yeah, me too.
Like, oh,
Like,
some
this feels
shit
like the end of the
happened.
game.
Yeah, well, not even that. Yeah, but like, it was just like, we fucking. This is fucked. Like, something bad happened here. I think that's everything I really have on 87, my man.
Yeah, I mean, oh, these pictures are so cool.
Yeah, you have anything you want to say?
No, I mean, like, this is an inevitable part of Fallout 3 if you were going to play it. So I'm sure a lot of our listeners have, like, been here and experienced this. So, like, I just think it's so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. There's only 2 working vaults in the whole game. And this is probably one of the cool ones, even though it's not working. Just because it tells such a story.
Well, there are a bunch. Well, what do you mean by working?
112 is technically still working, and 101 is technically still working. Even though their experiments have failed, I guess. Like, 101, they were opening the door well before you got there. And 112, when you get there... I mean, I don't know. If you get there and you do the Chinese communist thing, everybody dies, so they all kind of get freed. But if you don't... Like, if you do the right thing and kill everybody, the experiment fails. But if you don't kill everybody, then the experiment continues, and I guess technically that's a success.
Still working.
You know what I mean?
technically. I mean, the only vaults that I consider to be working in the franchise really is 101 and 81.
Okay.
I mean, in the 3D Fallouts, I should
Yeah.
say.
Well, I'm trying to think if the older ones have
Technically,
any...
the Boomers,
Yeah.
they're technically a working vault, even though they don't stay inside.
Their vault is really far away. Remember the one time we were saying we've never been in there?
Yeah.
We have. When I was streaming New Vegas, it's like, I mean, I don't want to say it's a few miles, but it's a fucking few miles. Like,
Really?
It's far from Nellis. Because I remember I was streaming and you were in there. I was like, oh, if Olive's here, I'm going to go to, what is their vault?
I do not remember.
Google it, do it, quick, fast, go.
No, you.
I want to say 95. I'm probably wrong. But they, like, took all their shit and walked to Nellis. Because you find the All-American in there, and I remember the All-American being a great gun.
Vault 34.
34, where the fuck? Google Vault 95. What's Vault 95? Why is that in the
Vault-
back of my head?
Vault 95 is the one with drugs in it, isn't it?
Is it? What's the drug vault? I'm fucking...
Vault 95.
Fuck that vault. Yeah, fuck
We've
that.
talked about that one before,
Fuck
right?
that vault.
Well, we'll talk about it on episode 95.
That vault, yeah, that vault can go fuck itself. I have some lore things planned. Wow, we didn't even do 81. I should have did fucking 81. Wow, I can't believe it took me 87 episodes to think of this.
Yeah, I mean, most of the vaults that we care about are like in the higher numbers.
But it's good. Once we hit the hundreds and we just start rolling over, I can just do like when we hit 113. Oh, here's 13.
Yeah, or like 122. We could do 22.
Well, that was the thing. I was like, oh great. Oh shit. It's like there's only 120 some vaults. Like fuck. It took me this long. Whatever. Do you have anything you want to say about 87?
Nope.
Cool. I think that's all I have to say.
Atomic Radio Hour Podcast.